Yo, okay. Speaking of different style shirts, that's so cool. Behind is backwards is crazy. That is, I like that a lot. I regularly use safety pins to make my shit just look different because I'm a pick me. Sue me. And this is clever as fuck. I think this one's gotta be my favorite, tying across. Okay, I've never tried to style play suits. I get it. Also, those pants were just cool. Okay, it was cool, but to be honest, I think it just, her pants were just fire. Like, that was great. I had to get a good weeb video in there for y'all. Yeah. Okay, but let's not miss the Gojo. The best reason to watch, honestly. The animation is beautiful.
Number 3, friendships. There is a lot of.
Okay, as Power Friendship goes, there are better animes though.
The characters.
I'll be honest.
Number 4, good plot.
We know why we're watching it.
Good. Number 5.
It is a great show though. Highly
great
recommend.
show. I don't know what.
Too bad they do them dirty off screen.
It's a solid show. So yeah, thanks for watching.
Very, very cut. This is something I've definitely noticed about like the difference between men's fashion and women's fashion, the male gaze and the female gaze. And this is something I'm trying to also be more conscious of in myself and kind of lean away from when guys especially make fashion get ready with me videos. And I'm a perpetrator for sure. There's a lot of skin. We come out the gate strong. We're like, and it works. It works. But it's funny because the female gaze is very different. Like most of the women's get ready with me's that I see are like very starting with basics, like almost always in pajamas or something else where it's like you're replacing articles of clothing, whereas a lot of the guys will start blank slate, like wearing nothing but underwear, maybe, you know, or in this case trousers. Respectable. I just find it fascinating. Autumn versus winter. Is that a bib? Oh, it's like a fake. Oh, we have a little faux collar thing going on here, a little fake shirt. I didn't know they made those, but that's very clever. Starting with the belt at the waist is a bold choice, but it makes for a nice tuck. Strong, solid outfits, both choices.
If you want to know what the future of the fashion industry looks like,
I do. Please continue.
look no further than Cody Phillips and what they are doing so much differently from everyone else. So instead of doing just a very classic vanilla lookbook, they did this shoe almost kind of like a flat lay, but they're all dead. And then the editorial photo.
I find that super fascinating. It kind of reminds me of Liquid Death, you know, where it's like it took something that was traditional, like done a certain way for a really long time. It's not an overly new product. Like bottled water has been around for a while, but most of it was bottled in plastic, which is not great, and also is just kind of boring packaging wise. And it turned it into something where it's like, oh, it's a conversation piece. It looks interesting. It's bottled up in aluminum that's infinitely recyclable, theoretically. I mean, typically in aluminum cans, there's plastic on the inside of it, but still. And they really push their marketing in like really interesting ways that's always super fucking fascinating. They're not afraid of really pushing the envelope. They partnered with porn stars to really push the envelope, but also to like promote sustainability and like how their product is actually really good for the environment. Also, this caption, despite sexual innuendo and slight gags, it's safe for work. Absolutely fantastic. Sustainability and innuendos, that's like my language exactly. Anyway, onward.
And then the editorial photos are showing like what happened to them. So this is the guy getting like beat up and then carried away. Or this one is him getting hit in the face with a baseball bat. And the attention to detail is insane. Like I love that
the dead flat layer is also really
blood
funny.
On it, and also like the makeup they did almost looks like bruised.
I love that they took flat lay, which is something that felt traditionally lifeless, and they added life back into it by adding death. Like that's funny.
Or even this little bottle, you probably can't read, but instead of Maker's mark, it says Cody's mark. And I love
Amazing.
that with this concept, you also get to include these fun little lifestyle
I
accessories
love
like the
Easter
pocket
eggs.
watch and the coffee cup and this iPod. It makes it feel like alive, like it just happened. My only wish is that I would have loved that there was a change in location. Like, I think it would have been so cool if one
If
of
they
these looks
carried
was
them
shot,
off-site.
like on these train tracks. This is absolutely
That would have been
ridiculous.
hilarious. I genuinely love that so much. Like a company that's willing to push the envelope and also like add little Easter eggs in there for the real fans that are willing to like do the deep dives and really try and find, okay, like, oh, this is a reference to when you made a first edition of this piece back in like 1986, which was the founding year of the company, you know, like those little things. Like that's the spice of life. I love a good time travel. The vibes. This, well, if y'all have not seen, what is it, Diary of a Vampire? Or, Interview with a Vampire. This is the vibe. I forget what the other vampire's name is. He's the protagonist. But basically, it follows this protagonist vampire. Not a super great guy. He's a vampire. Through history, but it's like telling his life story, and he's talking to this journalist that he met when he was much younger. Fantastic. Very much that kind of vibe. The fashion, immaculate, because obviously vampires have to have a lot of money. I feel like it's a prerequisite. I feel like they kick you out if you're not in a certain tax bracket as a vampire.
If you've ever wondered whether other people see color the same way as you, according
Yes,
to current scientific
I
understanding,
have.
the percent chance that anyone else sees color the same way as you is essentially 0. We all
Yo,
color
okay.
differently, but
When I was a kid, my headcanon, and now this may be my like headcanon again, because essentially I was like, okay, everyone actually has the same favorite color. Like if my favorite color is red and your favorite color is blue, let's say that what I'm seeing is this, right? And in your head, when you look at this, you see this. And so what we're interpreting to be, what you're interpreting to be blue, and what I'm interpreting to be red, are in our heads, in our like interpretations of it, the same color. So our like what we imagine it is, what we're interpreting it to be is the same. That was my headcanon. I'm going back to that. But let's hear what the rest of the video has to say.
actually 0. We all see colors differently, and I used to do research on this, so I'll tell you why. I used to work in a research lab doing something called a quantum catch, where we would
Quantum
take the
catch?
genotype of the color detecting cells in different monkeys' eyes, and then we could map on a color plot how they would perceive fruits in the rainforest. And you could see how different monkeys would perceive the same color fruit differently. And humans are the same way. And genetic code is only one reason the color of your eye, like brown versus blue, can also change how you see color. And our personal experiences can also
So you're telling me that someone with brown eyes sees color more similarly to other people with brown eyes than like a person with brown eyes and a person with blue eyes? That's crazy.
brown versus blue can also change how you see color. And our personal experiences can also shape how we perceive colors. Neural circuits in the brain that are involved in color processing can adapt based upon our experiences.
Immediately, her vibes are dope. Oh, shit. Okay. First outfit is giving the grandma or the granny from Dantadan. Not Turbo Granny, but like the actual grandma. Her. You see it? Watch her. Okay, this giving Crollo. Crollo from Hunter x Hunter, cracked character. Also dripped to the max, always. This is Crollo. Just always drip. Yeah, it's the jacket and the crosses. Maybe, actually, this might be a little bit more Crollo. This is Wednesday Addams, obviously. Agreed. First of all, one, how do I get like a cape or a cowl or like that's cool. I would unironically wear the fuck out of that. Like I would style the shit out of that. I would wear that outdoors for sure until it gets like probably 90 degrees and then I wouldn't be able to. But what's the point in knowing how to dress if you're not going to dress in a way that like makes people fucking notice? You know what I'm saying? Like that's part of why I love wearing this. I'll roll up in a Superman costume with my full chest. Like literally today, I rolled up to my daughter's school to pick her up in this. Full, like, why not? People can look at you however the fuck they want to look at you. Like, I feel great in this. Like this, I feel so good wearing this, bruh. And I wear the shit out of this fit too. Like, look at that. The harem pants. Oh, very cool, dude. Goblet of Fire, Hermione Granger, for a 13-year-old key, was absolutely peak. She was stunning, and the dress was incredible too, and also looks fantastic.
NHL jackets we've been designing lately. I was incredibly
that's
fortunate to
cool.
receive the opportunity to start designing licensed
I
NHL
love a
collections.
crest
One of the first
so
jackets I
much.
designed
Holy
was
shit.
Boston Bruins crochet jacket. The base is a custom crochet linen we developed in-house, giving it a unique and
Wow.
classic texture.
Dude, it's
I added
really
7
hard to get
patches
licensed
this
to be
piece,
able to
a chenille
sell,
knee patch on the chest, 3 vintage-inspired
sports
shield patches influenced
equipment,
by
not
collegiate
sports
jackets
equipment,
from
but
the
like
50s and the iconic Pooh
equipment
chenille
affiliated
patch on
with
the sleeve,
specific
a
sports
nod to
brands,
Bruins
but also
history.
just
On
like
the back,
a
I went all
league
out
in
with a
general.
large chain stitch Bruins grip patch.
But I can see why they gave him to this.
This jacket is all about blending classic Bruins heritage with a fresh, handcrafted look. Let me know in the comments how you feel about
That's
this piece.
stunning. This guy is like the silent fashion coach. I love the way he does his tutorial. Oh, look at that, so smooth. With the texture on the sweater, ribbed for his pleasure, huge, clean.
Here's how to style.
Nice. This man is speaking my language. As the sweatpants sweetheart, the mushroom print master, the senior purveyor of sweatpants, I've worn my fair share. And I've made my fair share of sweatpant mistakes. The sweatpant, which has historically been dressed down, can also be dressed up in very specific scenarios if one knows how to do it properly. I'm interested to learn how. Oh, it looks like he's got the Puma Palermos on. Nice. Oh no, those are Sambas. Nice. See, dressed up with a proper jacket. Nice. The flannel. I'm not a huge flannel guy. I don't know. I don't get it. What's around him? Real? Also, this guy's eyewear game is, well, of course I say that and then he proceeds to not wear any. His eyewear is pretty on. This guy is like the fashion professor. Okay, so you have loose pants. Huge! That's actually really fucking handy because you'll have like different outfits. Like you'll fluctuate in weight a lot, right? Just as you go throughout the day, but also like even just more importantly throughout your life. And even if you know how to sew and like take clothing in and out, it's just a lot to do, especially if you are going through periods of like, for example, right? I am very into fitness, right? And I used to wrestle a lot. And so I used to cut weight. And I have a number of friends who compete in bodybuilding competitions. So for them, where you'll go through periods of like a bulking season and a cutting season, and you're like fluctuating weight a lot, having things that fit well all the time is actually really hard, especially if you're like either putting on mass or whatever it is that you're doing, right? You're even just in like a down period or like it's winter, you know, it's cuffing season, you're hibernating, you know, that just happens. Having a way to still make it look good in a way that doesn't like, it's not overly frumpy. Super cool. I like that. That's very intelligent. It's very smart. This is giving high fashion. This is like editorial shit. Is she doing her makeup every outfit? I don't even have anything to say. This is. I'm so flabbergasted. I literally don't have anything else to say. Like that's just wow. This is actually such a good idea. I don't know why I've never done this before. Oh. I don't know this song.
My heart is buried in Venice.
I mean, I don't know the song, but the vibe is there. I'm realizing we do not have the same music taste. Mine would be like mid-2000s R&B, maybe a little dad rock. I was listening to Ariana Grande earlier.
Let me show you how I made my.
Starting strong. Okay, let's see. She said something about a spiked purse. It's a crazy hook, okay? Also, let me be clear. I am no one to judge. I do the male equivalent of that all the time.
Mace ball purse for my.
I mean, a mace, yeah, it
This
literally
purse
looks like a
never
mace. That's
fails to
super
grab
cool.
Everyone's attention. I started with this shiny ball purse I bought on AliExpress and thought, hey, if I added spikes to this,
Interesting.
it would
So,
look like a mace.
Does it open up?
Once I
Like,
had
is
all
it
my
a...
materials, I was ready to measure for spike placement. I used an 1.25 inch placement between the
It looks
spikes,
like it
and
has a
where the spikes
seam
would
that
go
it
on some
open. I would
masking
assume
tape.
it opens up because
I made holes for the
otherwise,
spikes with a
how are you getting
soldering
the
iron.
purse on there?
Make sure to wear a respirator in a well-ventilated area while you're doing this. As you can see,
Yeah.
it does give off some.
PSA kids, if you don't want to lose brain cells, definitely protect your breathing when melting plastic. The IQ drop is not worth the high. Also, in general, I think there's a bit of a theme. I love bits and baubles and doodads that make it seem as though we are in the Middle Ages with our clothing. Like a flail is such a cool accessory. When I was a kid, there was this book and it had like a giant in it and it had a mace, a spiked mace, and it called it a bombie knocker. So until I was like 13, I think, something like that, I unironically called maces bombie knockers. It's kind of a fun fact. It feels more fun than mace.
So while you're doing this, as you can see, it does give off some fumes. I also have an extractor fan off camera. I am no stranger to
Yo,
burning
honestly,
plastic or
that's protection
wearables.
right there. That's awesome. Good for
With
her.
all of the spikes placed and screwed in from the inside, as you can
Oh,
see.
okay. So
looks
it is a
incredible. I
purse.
absolutely
It does
love
open
it.
up. She's
From
screwing it
here,
in from
I
the
added
inside.
a
So
chrome
that's like
plastic chain from Amazon.
solid.
It clips on with a ring, and it completes the medieval weapon look
I'm
of
so
my purse.
impressed.
I absolutely love this purse.
Also,
It's a
the
really
fit
fun
is just-
accessory
it's
to
fire. It
wear
goes-
and makes any outfit a statement.
Yeah.
Everyone asks, can you swing it around? The answer is yes, but my wallet and other contents inside shake around quite a lot.
Kind of like
It's
your
the
head.
perfect
Like
flashy
not your head. My head. I went through a whole period where I was like, oh, I need to get tougher. I need to train my head. So I would like microfractures fill in thicker. I would cause microfractures in my skull. The problem with that plan being your brain still moves around. So very much like her mace, with its contents kind of still sloshing around, I kind of forget things now.
It's the perfect flashy accessory for anything from galas to run fairs and to showcase your
Yeah,
love
that's
of medieval
incredible.
weaponry.
I would wear the
Thanks
out of
for
that.
watching.
Nice. I do need to know how to style a scarf. The V-line? Exposed? In what is presumably Russia? The gutters in the dead of winter? What are we doing here? How is anything supposed to flow when it's freezing outside? Stupid. I mean, it's actually a good scarf hack though. Yeah, Little Red Riding Hood. Okay, for starters, cool that he just has the sword. Yo. I love an Ichigo fit, and he has the frosted tips too to go with it.